And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nico Lagan, and I am your in-house conservative. And to my left, Rob Ambrose, our token lefty. And together, we review what's trending in the news. Our goal is different. We're so much different than anybody else. So much different. We want to show you that it's possible for a lefty and a righty to get along. And even if we don't get along, you know what we do? We have civil conversations like normal human beings. Because remember, common sense has no political affiliations. What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Man, we got a fucking awesome show
Yeah.
for you guys today. Like it
I like
seems like
I like that. I like this lineup. Seems like
yeah,
every
it's
show, we're cranking out gold over here.
yeah, and you know what? I'd like to hear I know there's not a lot of people on the live right now, but I'd love to hear what you guys think because there's a few of you that've been with us for
For a while, yeah.
quite a few weeks, like Prairie. I know Prairie she's around
She's
somewhere.
she's you know she
So
is.
Prairie, you're not there yet because as soon as you're here, you normally say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Hey, fellas.
But the question is, have you seen a difference? Like, have you seen a step up over the past few weeks? Because God knows I spend at least 3 to 4 hours of doing research and getting prepared for each show, and I feel I'm going to use your favorite expression. I feel that it's getting better and better and better. So I would love for you guys to tell us, to tell me at least, am I full of shit? Am I right? Prairie!
There she is,
Hey,
Perry.
Prairie. I was just talking about you. I wanted to ask you a question. You've been with us for a few weeks now. Have you seen a step up in the quality of our show? Are we getting better and better and better? Or are we just like,
And you even use the F word. Feel. You
Okay,
feel.
that's funny.
Yeah, you
That's funny.
feel.
That's funny. I feel that we're getting better.
WP
I feel.
Studios. We're Canadians. Nico is a dual. He's a weary traveler. He's down in the States a lot of the time.
Yeah.
He's in
I'm in Alabama
Alabama.
right now,
Alabama. I'm in the East Coast of Canada.
but I
We're
will be back in Montreal in Jeebus, man. I'm leaving on Wednesday, so 2 weeks from now I'll be back with
how long are you
my
gonna? What's the
with my
trip gonna take you?
Frenchies. Bro, I have a really big podcast in North Carolina, so instead of going straight up, we're going east. Sorry, we're driving like 10 hours out of our way to go to North Carolina. And
Yeah.
then I got a podcast on next Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, just so you guys know, because Rob and I were just talking about this. Next week, the show's on Monday to Thursday, but Friday we're not going to be here. We're just letting you know right now. I have a massive podcast that I have to be on. I will be talking about this show on this podcast, and Rob just sucks too bad to be alone. So no, no, but
I haven't lost my training wheels yet. Haven't outgrown my training wheels yet. So.
I don't trust Rob to do a good job, so we're out Friday. No, that's not true, but it's just the magic is not the same. Like, let's be honest here. Even if I can say that I've recorded hundreds of lives by myself, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
Having
Yes,
somebody
agreed.
that I can chirp with that doesn't agree with everything I say, that we're able to always keep us in a conversation is not the same. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, next Friday we won't be there, but that doesn't mean we'll be there until Thursday. And then put me in,
Just
coach.
Friday.
Yeah, sure, Jason. We'll put you in so that you can talk about your shit on our podcast. Yeah, sure.
Hey, I don't
Sure.
mind. I don't
Sounds like
mind.
a great deal.
Actually, Jason, I would be down, but I'm actually taking the day off as to my advantage. I'm gonna head down see the girlfriend because as I was saying the other day, we do long distance, so I don't always get to see her. So if I can have a day off, I'll head down Thursday night instead of Friday.
And I
So
gave you a day off. I'm
oh,
not
yeah,
off, but
thanks,
you get
boss.
the day off.
Thanks, boss. Jason, what's up, brother? What's up?
I love
Perry
that.
says,
I love that Homo sapiens. I say that all the time. What's up, Homo
yeah, Homo sapiens.
sapiens? No, you need to leave a space between the
Oh
Homo and the
no
sapien.
homo though.
No,
Sapiens.
definitely a Homo.
Yeah.
Definitely a Homo. Yep,
Perry
yep.
says definitely. And yeah, I mean, I like once in a while. The other day, I just for a laugh, I watched some of our earlier shows, and it's definitely a lot more polished. You can see the difference. There's
Where you
WP.
see where you oh definitely. That's her answer, definitely.
Yeah, she was
That's
saying
it. That's all
definitely
you
that.
got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay, Prairie. We get it. I'm a bit hurt, but it's okay.
Jason says he's got a live cast coming up, but the topic looks. Oh, so you won't be here for comments.
Well, so you're gonna quit like yesterday because your feelings were hurt?
Yeah, we missed you yesterday, brother.
Yeah, what the fuck was going on, Jason? You just left us. You just left us.
Hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. And as a coach, I don't think I can accept that.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. All right, let's do this.
You're as good as a singer as I am, and you suck. I fucking suck. This is not a talent I possess, bro.
We're not as good. We're never gonna be Jason. We're never gonna be Jason.
Yeah, we don't have enough black in us. That's the reason why.
He's actually a good singer.
Why?
He's a good singer.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got on the agenda for today?
Well, before we go, I will ask you the question of the day. And I think it's an interesting one, and you don't know what it is unless you read it at the bottom. So the question is, are podcasts and content creators replacing mainstream media? Because we saw, you'll understand why I'm asking the question, because one of the topics today is exactly about that. So do you think that podcasts, content creators, social media, whatever the platform that you use, do you think that they are replacing where people are getting their news and their information from? So because I think if you look in general, most people have a distrust of mainstream media. It doesn't matter you're left, right, middle. As much as I consume a lot of media, I don't trust them. So to me it makes sense, right?
I like you said,
come here, like here, for example.
I mean,
about the news, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to, you said that it's related to something, some of the stuff we're going to talk about. So I guess I'll withhold full judgment, but just off like my immediate thought is, yeah, absolutely. I think, you know what the big difference is? It's generational. Like my parents, they're still pretty,
100%,
they're still pretty big into traditional media. But people say our age and younger just don't often trust it. And like you said, it is bipartisan. It's left and it's right. And I think that the media kind of fucked themselves, right? They got away from just informing us, and they started to get into telling us how to think and what to think. And people can tell when you do that. We don't like that, right? And so I feel like a lot of, even though like me and you, we don't portray ourselves as journalists, but essentially, we're open about our biases, and that's the difference, right? The media has biases too, but they pretend that they don't, and that's
we're the truth. We're the truth. We speak the truth. Yeah, bullshit.
That difference makes all the difference.
That's why if you look anywhere on my content, on my social media platforms, I will never say I'm a journalist. I will never say that I'm a reporter. Although I could report the news, because reporting doesn't prevent me from having a bias, right? I can choose what I want to report on. But the point is that I'm a commentator. I comment on what's going on.
Yeah, that's probably
I'm not a journalist. I'm not a journalist, but I'm a cultural commentator. That's why I refer to myself as this. But fancy. I'm a lot smarter than I look, bro. I know it doesn't say much, but I'm smarter than I look. So it seems that WP Studios is 100%. So I would imagine that it's about the question.
The question of the day, I believe. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Perry is saying, yes, content creators are replacing the mainstream media. No trust in them anymore. And I use the word, I use the expression content creators, but I got to put it into perspective. It's not just people that are on social media. Like creating content, basically that's what the news does, right? They create content. So it could be filmmakers, it could be, yeah, exactly. But it's the same thing, right? They create content. So they could be filmmakers, they could be content creators like on social media, they could be bloggers, they could be independent journalists, like anybody that actually puts their thought into some type of format and puts it out there for consumption is a content creator. So Jason is saying, yes, definitely. They were the first ones to shit in our space, but now they want to be in our space. It's still true, eh? They shot on our space. Oh yeah.
They are not pleased about this development at all. You can
No,
tell just the contempt with which they hold anyone who doesn't have, you know, a 6-year degree from Pennsylvania University or whatever the fuck
yep.
the big journalist university is. Because they you know, they want to be the sole arbiters of truth. They want to be the gatekeepers of information, and they fucked themselves because they made themselves untrustworthy. And then, you know, technology came along and it gave them options, gave people options. And I think it's a trend that's not going back. I don't think
No,
even I don't know how the media ever fully regains. There will always
they
be
won't.
mainstream media, but I don't think they'll ever be. What will be interesting though is, as we're talking about generational things, what happens when those people start to die, people who are 50 and 50 plus, because the people below them, you know, are not going to replace them in terms of mainstream media consumers. So maybe you will have a situation where some of these like absolutely flagship properties, you know, New York Times, well, that'll always be there just because newspaper is one thing, but like CNN, MSNBC, you know, what happens with them? Like maybe they just won't be around, or they'll retool and be something else.
No, you know, I think they're just going to get replaced. I
Yeah,
think that as let's say you and I, as we
maybe
grow
by
and
some
grow and
tech.
grow,
Yeah.
like we're working on some stuff right now in the back end, not Rob and I, but me and other people that could potentially put us on TV. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's the origin are very different, but I think the big difference between like let's say you and I, as many like I still get, and I know it's the same case for you. You get millions of views on your content every month,
Mhm.
and so do I. So we are out there, right?
Yep.
We have a lot of influence when you consider it. It's just that we're capable of doing it from you're clearly in your apartment, and
Yeah.
I'm in a fucking
An
RV in
RV.
Alabama. Like this is the freedom that we get. And as I'm on the road, I'm gonna stop on Starbucks coffee at coffee places. I'm gonna record our show there, and then when I'm done, I pack my stuff and I leave. So this is the big difference. It sounds more honest if you
It's
ask me. Like
authentic.
it.
There's an
Thank you.
authenticity.
Not honest, because honest is not a good word. Authentic is exactly the right word. So let's see what Jason's saying. You want to take those ones?
Yeah. So see, Jason says they're now trying to be in our space, but when you lie with impunity, you won't get views on social media either. The major networks allow you to lie, but you cannot force us to watch it. Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly it. It seems like the sort of the new content creators, social media, that there's a self-correcting mechanism. Usually, if someone is just lying, it gets called out pretty quickly in real time. Community notes is a great thing. Um,
Yeah.
you know, so much better than the Facebook fact checker model, right? Where you just had the same people. You had the same people. You had media faces who were fact
Yeah.
checking it. It was nonsense, and like all the same biases, left wing
Yeah.
narrative biases were built into these
Of
fact
course.
checks. I saw fact checks that was like, no, women can have, or yeah, women can have penises. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to trust these
They're
fact
not
checks?
called women, okay? Can you stop? They're called birthing people.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. Chest feeders,
Oh,
uterus
Jesus.
havers.
Of
Can you
course. It's
imagine? Can you imagine?
I can clearly imagine. I just need to open my social media to see it.
Yeah,
So it's not
yeah.
it's not that hard to imagine.
All right, let's see that.
Prairie, prairie, prairie.
Oh, yeah, no, we just did that one. Prairie. If I even see CBC in my feed, it gets the do not recommend from me. A lot of people feel that way. Let me ask you guys: do you feel there's a still a role for the CBC if they cut out the news? You
No.
don't think so at all?
Uh, no, no, not at all, because it's propaganda. At the end of the day, when your government has to spend more than $1.4 billion every year to support them, which Carney said that he would more than double their budget if he becomes prime minister. So you're talking about a propaganda machine. So
Yeah,
you're literally, if you look at their content, you look at CBC, for example, they're not talking against the liberal government because it's biting the hand that feeds you. So why would you do that? And they know, like, let's be honest here. If they're giving you basically, I think they made less than $500 million in ad revenue, and they're requiring 1.4. So basically, 75% of their revenue does not come from what they're practicing. So they're basically a government entity. What's
yeah,
the only entities in the world that survives while never producing any money?
government.
Governments.
Yeah.
They need to tax you, and this is a tax. We're literally, as taxpayers, we're paying to fund an agency that works for the government that tells us what the news is. It's propaganda 101. So I see they should defund the CBC right from the get-go. And because at the end of the day, if you and I cannot compete in a public space,
We won't exist.
why are we even there? Exactly
Yep.
my point. So why
Yep.
do they get to survive when they wouldn't be able to survive if it wasn't for the fact that we're paying them, and they're not and they're biased? At least, you know what? At least let's say that they were actually somewhere in the middle, presented the facts on each side, but they don't.
Yeah.
They
again,
literally,
they
you can
shot
see that
themselves in
they're
the foot.
biased.
Yep.
That's the problem, right? If they
It-
were really unbiased, maybe I could be convinced, but
I think a lot of the media they just insult the intelligence of their consumers. They just, again, they assumed that we wouldn't see
that
that.
we're idiots. That we're
Yeah.
idiots. Yes.
And now, and you know what's going to happen is, now that the worm has turned on the CBC, they're going to scream to high heaven about, you know, how free speech is under attack and the freedom of the press and blah blah blah. And it's like, you guys shot yourself in the foot. Like, as a liberal and lefty, I'm not interested in saving you. You're not going to convince me, because I don't want bias in my news. I don't care what side it's on.
Yep.
Prairie says, sorry, go ahead.
It's confirmed. No, but it's confirmed what she's talking about. Prairie is saying that Pat King has something in the works, like a Joe Rogan. And I cannot tell you, I'm not going to divulge the information, but I did have a conversation I recorded some content with Pat King last weekend. And I can tell you that there's definitely something in the works. I can't tell you more than that because I don't know the guy. We're not friends. I just met him once. We're supposed to record some content. Like, he's supposed to come on my shows. Just needs to be planned. But I've heard the same thing, and the rumors are true. I'll just say that. But this is what's cool, right? This is what's cool, though. Since I've been producing content on X, I'm starting to get in touch with all those guys. Like Pat King, you know what Pat King is, right? One of the main guys from the Freedom Trucker. He was arrested. He was put in prison. He's one of those guys. He's a guy that to this day, he just got liberated from a gag order, if you will. He was not allowed to be on social media. He was not allowed to speak about what happened during the convoy. He was not allowed to create content around what they did to him, and they literally put him in prison. He got liberated. Now he's now he's out, and he's finally going to be able to start producing content again. So,
wow. That's pretty cool. So before we get started, I want to show you something. I want to get your thoughts on this. And for the audience, I want to get your thoughts as well.
look at you doing your own research.
So this came across my feed. I figured, sometimes in the mornings before we actually dig into it, if something sort of jumps out that I want to talk about, this will be a good time to do it. So look at this. This is 20-year-old white men are now more right-wing than 75-year-old white men. 75-year-old white men, man. So I thought that was an interesting thing. What's your take on that? And what's your guys' take on that?
But that's probably an American that I'm ready to bet it's an American study. That's not a Canadian study.
I would say so, but I bet you it's accurate. I bet you it's the same.
Not in Canada. No, we're a generation behind in Canada. Like, you have to understand too that we've been under. No, it's not. It's completely different. I'm telling you, man. I like to say it this way, but imagine that Kamala Harris would have been in power for 10 years. Mm-hmm. This is where the US would be. This is where we are, because Trudeau has been pushing this woke shit for the past 10 years with no impunity. Like, he's just pushing it, and he changed.
The woke shit is what causes this stuff. Like, it's a reaction to that shit, right?
But we're not there yet. But we're not there yet.
I'd like to see the data, but I bet you it would be similar.
Oh, no. I can tell you just from, this is personal. It's anecdotal. It's just anecdotes from my side. It's personal. But as someone that's traveled all over the place, like still am right now, the culture is different. As much as at a high level, we're very similar, as in we put a lot of faith in their entertainment and we trust their government with most of the shit that they say. When it comes to the actual individual, they're very different. Like, we don't have, because you have to remember this, like I was saying yesterday, if you look at the US, split it east to west from at the height of Virginia. Like, this is where they say the South starts, like around somewhere in Virginia.
Mhm.
So the people north are like Canadians. The Americans that are from the south are not like us. They're not like us whatsoever. So there's a massive split between the two. And this is why there's a culture change in the US, and like the vibe change that we keep on talking about is mostly pushed by the southern states. If you look at Canada, we don't have like Alberta would be similar to the South in the U.S., but it's the only province, and they don't have that much voice yet. The point is that will that change within the next 4 years? Maybe we'll see. But right now, it's a lot more woke in Canada because you look at Quebec, highly woke.
Very much.
Ontario, highly woke. BC, highly woke. We saw some shit from Manitoba. I I don't live there, so it's hard for me to say. And there's not a lot of news coming out of Manitoba. But Alberta is about the only place that they're more traditional because they've been fucked so much by the federal government that they see themselves as, Quebec for the longest time, they saw themselves different from the rest of Canada because of the language that we speak, because of French. Alberta sees themselves different from the rest of Canada because the way the federal government's treating them.
Yeah.
So,
That's
I know what you're saying, but
I just think the factors are just high level. Like it's not really provincial specific or even Canadian specific. I'd like to see for sure. It's not going to be the same. Like we're always going to be
we're behind.
more
behind.
to the left, right? But I think you're going to see the same trend. Like within Canadian society, you will see young men.
I'm comparing right now.
Oh,
in
okay,
5 to 10 years from now, I see the trend getting there. But that's what I'm saying. From what I've seen, we're about 10 years behind when it comes to our policies. So will this happen? 100%. The fourth turning by William Strauss confirms it. Every 4 generations, there's a massive switch, and we are at the end of the last turning. So men are going to become men again, and it's going to start with the young men. The young men are going to say, fuck it, we're done with this bullshit. But we're not quite there yet in Canada. Not yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to read that book. It sounds
it's pretty dry.
Is it?
It's not entertaining, by the way.
No,
there's no images, and it's not entertaining.
It's not a pop-up book.
No, unfortunately.
No, I like dry books.
Well, if you're, it's almost like a study guide, right?
Yeah, no, I like the theory of it. It's like just what I know about it. It makes sense to me. It makes it's plausible with my understanding of how society functions. So I would like to, I'd like to read that. Who's it by again?
It's William Strauss and Neil Awi. But William Strauss is the guy that is recognized for having written this book. Now, are you guys ready to start
the show?
What we shall talk about today? Because this to me is a very interesting phenomenon that's happening, and we're going to start by talking, like it says at the bottom, U.S. So Pam Bundy, the Attorney General of the United States, has referred to the Tesla attacks as domestic terrorism. So she said that on Fox yesterday. She said it all over the place yesterday. I cut a great clip for this. But before I do, I want to show you the big difference between Canada and the US. And it's funny that you brought up what you just did, because I'm basically saying that there's a difference in culture. Here's the massive difference in culture. And there's 3 topics that we're talking about, and 2 out of the 3, or even 3 out of 3, you'll see that the culture is not quite caught up. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. So I don't know if you guys heard about this, but before we touch the US Tesla attack, it's happening in Canada too. So
yeah, I believe that.
We had a Tesla dealership in Montreal. I know exactly where it is. I used to live not far from there. And it got attacked. So I'll show you the video, but listen to the way the media is spinning this. And the wording that they use is very, very, I don't want to say clever, but it just shows it's very biased.
Slippery.
It's biased.
Okay.
You'll see one of the, you know what? Maybe that's one of the reasons why we don't trust mainstream media, because listen to this.
Pink spray paint covers the main entrance at this Tesla dealership just off of the Carry. It happened this morning. A video posted to social media shows two people using fire extinguishers to spray the paint. Their message: the environmental activist group Last Generation Canada claimed responsibility, demanding Canada take a stand against Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who they claim is destroying democracies and helping spread climate denial.
We've seen hundreds of thousands of people across this country be evacuated because of fires, billions of dollars of damage due because of floods. And right now, what we're seeing south of the border is the fall of our democracy.
According to Montreal police,
These people are such idiots, man.
No, but we're talking about Frenchies in Canada blaming Elon Musk for somehow the fall of democracy in Canada, when we've been under 10 years of liberal government that's been able to do whatever the fuck they wanted. Now it's their fault. Like, it's so basically, you know what, bro? Our democracy has been attacked by Elon Musk, and our economy's been destroyed by Trump. This is basically the message that the liberals are selling right now.
But what's so insane is that, like, that is democracy. The whole point of democracy is sometimes you don't like it. The fact that the guy you got elected, you don't like him. I mean, for you to try to like tear down the system because of that, that's what would destroy democracy. Democracy is people who vote. Whoever gets the most votes wins. That's exactly what happened. It's not invalid because you personally don't like the guy that won. And the other thing that's really hilarious is these are environmental groups. They're fucking graffitiing Tesla. It's a fucking electric car company. What are you talking about?
They were basically the first one, the most popular. And I have a post that's still trending on Instagram right now. It's just went viral, and all I said is, so basically the left is damaging other leftist cars while they are all climate change. Like, the only reason Tesla's popular is because leftists bought it while telling us that we need to do better for the planet. So leftists are attacking leftists, trying to get back at Elon Musk when the cars have already been bought. Like, are you fucking retarded? Like you're literally, the snake keeps on biting its own tail, and it's like, but let's finish the video because it doesn't stop.
That's so wild, man.
No, but hold on, it gets better. It gets better.
Two men, both 21 years old, were arrested on site.
Well, they were arrested for vandalism.
This marks the second time this year the dealership has been vandalized. Last month, police say the main entrance was spray painted. That case is currently under investigation. No arrests have been made, and police are not linking the two events.
I think it's totally disgusting and inappropriate.
Attacks against Tesla are becoming more common. Yesterday in Las Vegas, Tesla vehicles were set on fire. The FBI is investigating it as a possible act of domestic terrorism. Back in Montreal, some Tesla drivers say they're feeling the heat after moves by the company's controversial CEO.
Well, I'm not a big fan of vandalism. I can understand the emotion behind it.
This Tesla owner says he's now considering buying a different electric car.
It makes an amazing product. It just happens to be run by someone who a lot of people would qualify as a fascist or a lunatic.
This is what's so interesting, is that the left is attacking the left, because clearly that's a leftist. That's not a conservative right there. But the leftists are attacking leftists, and other leftists are actually condoning their actions. They're not calling out, that guy was not calling out the vandalism and the criminals that are destroying those cars and damaging other people's policy or other people's properties. They're basically saying, well, Elon Musk is viewed as a racist and a narcissist, and he's almost a Nazi. Like, Really? This is where we're at now. So you're blaming a guy that's thousands of miles away for idiots destroying your property. Like, can we be honest here?
I just really, I wish people would just start like understanding that words have meanings, right? Like, Nazi can't just mean a guy you don't like. Like, Nazis are a very specific group of people in history, and they had very specific beliefs. And fucking the Israel supporting Elon Musk is not a Nazi, regardless of how you feel about him. It's so stupid and short-sighted, because you need to be able to use that language if you do come across an actual fucking Nazi. Now the word doesn't mean a goddamn thing, right? So like, just so much of these leftist idiots, it's just so self-defeating. You know how everything is racist now. Well, if everything is racist, then nothing is racist. And of course, racism still exists. And it would be nice if we could actually call it out once in a while. But now you can't, because everything's racist. So therefore, the word doesn't have any meaning.
News reached out to Tesla.
And you know what the worst part is that so hold on, was it in this video? I think it was. So you got a guy. Oh, see, they cut it. I wish I would have seen the video. But this is obviously a security guy that's right there, right?
Yeah.
And there's still, I swear that I saw another video where the guys are pointing their fire extinguisher at him. So technically, this is not just vandalism at this point. If you're pointing some type of what could be perceived as a weapon at me, this is assault. Like you had ill intentions. Yeah. Did you hear how they called them? Environmental activists. No, those people are fucking criminals. They're not environmental activists. You don't spray paint buildings with a toxic paint and then call yourself a environmentalist. Brother, you're not. You definitely are not.
Go finish your thought there.
Have you ever, so this is just from what they did. I know they're full of shit, but I took it a step further. I went to research who those guys are, because if you didn't hear, the name of that group is called Last Generation Canada. And guess what I did? I went and I found their website and I started looking at their website. And funny enough, they have a pop-up right now because the attack, the vandalism, the criminal activities that they just happened, right? It happened a couple of days ago. This is their website. So as you can see, it's lastgenerationcanada.ca. But before you hit their website now, there's a pop-up. We need your support. Donate here. For what? Course. So basically, come to our website and support criminals. That's basically what they're doing.
I wonder, and the thing is this stuff is real easy to stop. Like, actually punish these guys. Like, now, what'd you say? Vandalism? So in other words, what does that mean? Like a slap on the wrist? Like there's going to be no real consequences?
No, of course not.
Hopefully, like a judge just throws a book at them. Like if people actually face consequences for their actions, then things will be done about it.
That's why I wanted to show the sub version of it, and then we're going to go to the US and see what they're doing. But this is their website. So this is Last Generation Canada's website, and it says in big, bold, pink letters, no one is coming to save you. While our homes are burning, the rich gets richer. Tax the rich, protect the people. This has nothing to do with climate change. This all has to do with taxing the rich. This Marxism 101, that's communist talk right there. This is what I find interesting. It's not about climate. It's about using climate in order to tax the people they don't like.
Yeah,
that's what their main page says in big, bold letters. And it doesn't stop, right? Take action. Like, take action with us, resist to survive. Two women in their bras covered in oil saying that petroleum oil kills.
Well, and just think about for a second the kind of psychology or personality that would cause someone to actually make a website like this and create a group like that. So let's say you're a bunch of young people, you've made this website. Now what are you going to do? You're just going to sit around and talk about ways you can go out and destroy shit. Like that's all you're going to do. It's like, even if they didn't have a true cause, they're going to feel compelled to go out there and destroy shit. It's like, it's so destructive for society to have this kind of shit, these kind of people. And it's even more bad when they get celebrated, when they get treated you know, that was pretty friendly interview there on
Oh,
the
yeah, of
media.
course it is.
Like,
Of course,
you
it
know,
is.
it was clear that they were being portrayed as, you know, do-gooders, Robin Hoods, right?
Yeah,
And
and look what it
that's
says.
dangerous.
Did you see what it says here? So this is in bold letters on their website. They're citing a guy called Sir David King. It's just to show you why they're behaving the way they are. And the next subject after this one will show you even more the mentality behind it. But basically, this is the former chief scientist advisor to the UK government, and his quote is from February 2021.
Yeah,
What
so
we
it's
do in the
done.
next hold on. What we do in the next 3 to 4 years, I believe, is going to determine the future of humanity. What, still being alive?
Well, it's 2025. Yeah, it's
No,
2025 now. So like that window's closed. There's nothing
and
more we
this,
can do.
but this is what's funny. But this is what's bad is that they're using very short term
Yeah,
in
yeah.
order to provoke those very influenceable kids to
Mhm.
do something. And you think that their actions are going to be passive? Of course not.
No, of
Yet,
course.
see, this is where it's funny. So if you go to About Us, that I love, our
Our
demands.
demands.
Not,
Okay.
not how do we change the world.
Yeah.
Our demands, like what we say needs to be this. You know what demands reminds me of? Hostage takers. What are your demands? What would you like to release those hostages? This
That's
this
exactly
is
what
the
it is.
same type, of course, but this is
That's
the
exactly
same
what it
type
is.
of verbiage, but we don't associate one to the other. But I'm a big psychology fan. There's no difference between them saying our demands and somebody that's going to hold you hostage. The mentality is the same. They're
Yeah, of
trying to
course.
destroy your property in order to change your opinion on something or just your behavior.
Oh yeah. What's funny too is what it says 2023 wildfire season. You guys couldn't even update it. Like these are the laziest fucking activists. Like they all they care about is just whatever, you know, whatever's the trendy thing. Of course, they put up pictures of their Tesla thing here.
They've updated the website obviously because this is only a few days old. But see where it says here, and this is what I found ironic. If you go under their About Us and you go our methods and activities, they basically say there's a moral imperative to engage in non-violent civil resistance. Technically, you aimed that fire extinguisher filled with paint. It was aimed at the direction of the security guard that's there. So technically, you can't claim to be non-violent
Yeah.
because you could have heard that person. Even if you didn't, you could have. So it's not non-violent. Like non-violent, okay, you know what? Do like Gandhi. Go sit down and be in silence somewhere, blocking the way. That's non-violent. You know,
Yeah.
the Christians last year or the year before in Tennessee, they sat in the lobby of a abortion clinic and they sang. They didn't block, they just sang there. They were arrested, and some of them went to prison, some of them are not out, some of them, I think they were pardoned. They might have been pardoned by Trump, but the point is that those were silent, and they were not silent but non-violent protests, which I can't disagree with that. Even if I don't like what you're saying,
Yeah.
okay, sure, but that's not what they did. This is what's funny. Technically, spray painting something is a violent act.
Yeah,
It's not yours. You're destroying, you're damaging
Mm.
something that doesn't belong to you. That's violent.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I mean,
there's levels to violence. It's not like
that's the
going
right way to
there
put
with
it.
an AR-15, but the matter that, like, obviously
It
there's scales to this. The behavior is still a violent one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure.
And we're protecting them. We're protecting them. And
yeah.
that's what Prairie is saying, right? The media is minimizing the criminal activity. Obviously, they are, because those are the people that allow them to exist. If they don't protect their own, those media won't exist anymore. They need to protect their own.
And so I looked up the definition of terrorism just once we started talking about this topic.
Oh, good for you, because it was part of my next one. So thanks for stealing my thunder. But go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
We have the same idea. It's all good,
exactly.
Man.
Great minds. So terrorism.
Hold on. You're not. No, hold on. You're not showing the right one. You need to reshare it. It does that sometimes. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yep. So terrorism, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. So, I mean, what do we have? We have violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, for political aims. All three of those things apply to Tesla right now. Like you said, there's levels of violence, but destroying someone's car or spray painting a dealership is a form of violence. It is. And so terrorism might sound like an extreme word, but if you just go by the definition, it's it fits.
And once again, just like we were saying yesterday about a Muslim blocking the busiest intersection in Canada just to pray.
Yep.
That's a flex move. Exactly what they're doing there. It's a flex, because that as a Christian that does not believe in abortion, if I went in front of a clinic and I started doing that, I started spray painting the clinic with spray paint and just and do exactly what they did, I would have been arrested. I would still be in jail. I wouldn't be out. The media would be fucking crazy. I'm a racist supremacist Christian that doesn't believe in the medical rights of women. Like, they would spin that. I would become a demon. Yet, this is not what you're seeing. You're seeing 20-year-olds, and that's what they said at the beginning of the video, that they were in their early 20s, but yet little slap on the hand, the media's on their side, everything's okay. Even the guy that owns a Tesla has to put a sticker on his Tesla, not because he does not like his car. On the contrary, he said that he loved this car. He's putting a sticker on it, so hoping that people won't damage his car. Like, how ridiculous this is. If I had a Tesla, I would want you to try to touch it so that I can kick your ass. I'll teach you consequences to your action, little boy. Like, some people need, Mike Tyson said it best. People are way too comfortable spewing on the internet without getting punched in the face. That's why we live in the society that we live today. If somebody damages your stuff and you just smack him, I'm not saying like put him in the hospital and make sure he never walks again. That's not what I'm saying. But if you catch him, you smack him like his father, what he should have done to him. Like, just smack him a couple of times. Like, hey, bro, there's consequences to your actions. That's what they need.
I mean, we live in a world where you can't just go around doing whatever you want. It's utterly insane that the people who are celebrating this right now, I guarantee you, like, that's going to come back and bite you, because all it's going to do is create a whole lot of angry right wingers, and then they're going to do the same thing sometime soon. Like and that's why where are the Democratic leaders? Where are the left-leaning leaders who are supposed to come out and tamp down on this shit? Who are supposed to say, of course you're going to say it in a way like, guys, I understand your frustration, blah, 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 but this isn't the way. Like, where is that? That's what leadership is.
They should all be called out like Trump was on January 6th. It always connects back to that, right? They do not treat. We don't get a pass. As a conservative, I don't get a pass. I don't. They do all the time. And, I forgot about this video, but I found another one in Hamilton, which is near Toronto. Okay. There's another one where something like,
look at this. Police are investigating after close to 80 Tesla vehicles were vandalized in Hamilton. This happened overnight on Tuesday at a dealership at Lime Ridge Mall on Upper Wentworth Street. The vehicles were parked outside. The damage includes scratches to fenders and hoods and punctured tires. The crime comes amid an emerging anti-Tesla sentiment spawned amid the trade war with the United States and Tesla CEO Elon Musk's role in President Trump's government overhaul.
I think everybody understands the climate in the world right now. There's nothing to suggest that this is motivated by that at this moment. It's under investigation.
Hamilton.
What?
Once again, now we have police officers that are excusing the behavior of those criminals, saying that it's not related, but even the person
to suggest it. What are you
the
talking
reporter
about?
was literally just saying that the reason why those cars were damaged is because of Elon Musk's role in Trump's government. And the dude shows up, well, we have no proof that it's. Are you fucking retarded? People are just doing it on purpose. At this point, they're just protecting themselves the same way as they're protecting Muslims to do whatever they want. Now they're protecting the woke left again, because those people have power. This is a flex. They're flexing because they know that there's no consequences to their actions and they will get away with it. Because those 2 kids that were caught in Montreal, they've been released on bail, no problem. Just
Oh yeah.
go.
They weren't going to
Fuck
get
you.
any.
If that was me, fuck you. You're staying. I will make sure you get the maximum penalty I can give you, and I will make sure that little if you aimed your sprayer at the police at the guard there, criminal. This is becoming violent. I'll shove you in jail.
Well, buddy in the UK got 2 years in jail for saying that he didn't want to support migrants who molest kids. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck does? But they put him in jail for 2 years for that. It's just there's a lot of this 2-tier policing, this 2-tier justice system, and it's really got to stop, because all it's going to do is create animosity on the other side, and then you're never going to be able to get it under control.
And you know what's funny is that you look at Canada being extremely soft, and now I'm going to play a video from Pam Bundy, the Attorney General of the United States, and see how she is the complete opposite. Like, this is angry shit right here.
Tesla taking place across the country. You've recently said that they are acts of domestic terrorism.
Yes.
Obviously, in bringing up the concept of domestic terrorism, I would think that opens up your department and the FBI into investigating who is funding these attacks. Are they organized? What can you tell us about all of this, which many are seeing on their screen right now at Tesla dealerships, and it's taking place all over the country?
These attacks are taking place throughout our country. We have charged multiple people. Get ready, more coming. One we charged in Oregon is facing 5 to 20 years in prison. We filed in Colorado. We filed in South Carolina. There are more coming. And yes, the funding is one thing we are looking at among many others. I was personally in a meeting about it this morning. We are coming after you. We believe these are organized. These are not individuals out there throughout the country doing this on their own. They're targeting Tesla owners. They're targeting Tesla dealerships. They're targeting Elon Musk, who is out there trying to save our country, and it will not be tolerated. We are coming after you. We will find you. And if you are an organized group who is funding this, we're going to find you too. You better look out and you better stop it.
And to be clear, you said you came out of a meeting this morning. At least to some extent, you are seeing some level of organization and behind-the-scenes funding that you can investigate and potentially prosecute?
That's everything that we're looking at. Yes, we're looking at all aspects of it. These are not isolated individual events.
Attacks on Tesla.
Before we go any further, as she was talking, I remember seeing this off the other people's website, the Last Generation Canada's website. Look at this. So she's basically saying that there is an organization that's taking place, like they are organized right on their website. We are part of an international network. US, Germany, UK, New Zealand, Italy, Sweden, Denmark, Poland, Switzerland, Norway, France, Scotland, and Austria.
Oh yeah.
So somebody is funding this, and I agree with her that there's funding going on. Now, is it George Soros that's sitting behind the scene organizing all this shit?
No.
Probably. But do I have proof of this? No. I just had to do it, bro. I
don't think, maybe, but I don't think it needs to be funded by, like,
no,
like these guys. The funding probably amounts for, like, you pay them gas money or something, give them a 20 sheet. Like they just want to, like, be the big shot, because these 2 kids who spray painted the dealership, they're gonna go back and be the big shots with all their buddies, right?
Look at their website. Like their website is all updated, and that happened literally 2 days ago. Literally,
I bet it happened within 2 hours of it.
Of course, bro. Yeah. Young people are very good with technology. They understand technology extremely well. So this is the difference, right? You got Canada that is completely like,
oh, she's doing it right.
Pam Bondi is just like, if you're out there, we're gonna find you. Like, well, look, she's going complete opposite.
I feel like some people might want to make this a partisan issue, but it isn't.
It's not.
The whole point of this stuff is, once it gets away from you, you will not be able to control it. And eventually, if people on the right see that this is happening and that the government appears to be in the tank for them, and there's absolutely no consequences, then they're going to start doing shit, and then all hell's going to break
It's
loose.
going to
Like,
get violent.
that is the point of, if this were right wingers, I'm sure that you would be saying the exact same thing. Like, it is not a partisan thing. Don't fucking destroy other people's property to prove your political points because you don't like the guy who's the CEO. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He's not, like, it's a publicly traded company. Of course, he owns shares in it, but he wouldn't even, like, there'd be more people that own more of Tesla than don't own. Like, people, like, he wouldn't own even 50%. He probably owns like 10% or something. That's usually how this stuff works. Jason, 3 days ago, real Nazis had a full-blown demonstration in a predominantly black neighborhood. When the black community decided to arm themselves, the news was saying they were escalating. I mean, you don't hate the media enough, right? Like, they've got, they push their narratives. They push their narratives, and it's funny because, you know, as a lefty, a liberal, I've been hearing that my whole life from the right, like, left-wing media bias. And I think, you know, I always knew the media was left-wing, but I didn't think, like, I've definitely had my eyes opened in the past couple of years about how bad it really is. I don't know if they've gotten worse, or it's more obvious now, or just people are starting to see even on the left, but it's so short-sighted because, again, I'm on the left and I still don't want to have left-wing narratives fed to me. I want you to inform me of the facts so I can make up my own mind. And there's so much short-sightedness with a lot of what the media is doing, what government's doing, what the police are doing. Do they think that people aren't going to start to take matters into their own hands if they feel like the one thing that prevents most sane, reasonable people from retaliating is the feeling that, well, the government will take care of them, the police will take care of them, the justice system will sort that out, so I don't have to. If that breaks down, then you're gonna have anarchy, and it's not going to be good.
But the thing is, and this is where my hat is going to be put on again, that might be what they want, because what would be the best way for a tyrannical government like the one that we have in Canada to gain even more power? Divide the people to a point where they start hating each other, and then it becomes violent. They step in and they start arresting people. That gives them the platform to put an emergency in place and control you even more. This has been done throughout history. This is nothing new. This is not a new tactic that they're inventing right now. So is it feasible that that's what it is? Who knows? But can you really deny that it's never happened before and there's no way it could happen again? Fuck off. You know, so maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe that's the whole goal, for us to be so pissed off at each other that we do their job for them.
Yeah, you might have something. Jason, my point, the Justice Department is there for the wealthy. You can be masked up and armed, telling black people to deport, but fuck with a Tesla and find out. But I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's clearly because of who Elon Musk is that he is getting, that they're cracking down so hard. But at the same time, it wouldn't happen if he wasn't doing what he's doing either. Yeah. It's funny. I'm seeing his interviews and he's acting like he's shocked. I don't know why he's shocked. I think he should have predicted. Oh, no, okay. No, but he's not an idiot either. He's playing the game. Let's be honest here. I'm not portraying him as he's white as snow here. He has skin in the game, and believe me, he fucking knew this would happen. He's not stupid. I mean, like he's not helping. He's not helping it at all. Like, do I understand why people are pissed off at him? Yes. Should he have kind of separated himself from Tesla before starting the Doge department? If 100%. If I was a Tesla investor, I would be pissed. I would be pissed. Well, imagine if you had Tesla shares, right? You don't give a shit about. But that's politics. My point. Yeah, you just want your. And what is the stock gone down, like 30%, 40%? But that said, what would be real smart is if he bought a shit ton of shares and then resigned. Probably make a couple, like probably 10 or 20 billion in one day, because the stock price would go through the roof, I would imagine. But at the same time, this is where there's biases on each side, right? And that's the point I'm always trying to make. I'm not portraying Elon Musk as a victim here. He knew
what he was. The real victim are us
The car
and the
owners.
people. Exactly. Those
Yeah.
are the people that are a victim, are the people that bought a good car. At least that's what they say. They bought a good car that they enjoy, and now the same people that told us to buy those cars a few years ago are now destroying those cars because they
It's
don't like the owner anymore. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever
it's such a
heard.
mess. It's
So
just such a mess all around. But yeah, Jason, you're right with what you're saying there. Like, yes, of course, the fact that I mean, the fact that Elon Musk has the presidency here means that he's going to get preferential treatment, and that's why the government is coming down so hard. But yeah, just in general, it doesn't help anybody to destroy innocent people's cars, right? It's fun. It's like you said, most of these people are going to be liberals. Like, obviously, Tesla's 5 years from now will probably be right-wing coded.
Because now right wingers are going to start buying
Yeah.
Teslas to say fuck you to the left. But
right now, the owners
are
all leftists.
vastly leftist. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they did it for climate change, and the average right winger does not believe in human cause climate change. And this is the funny part. You remember the girl in the video, the first video I played? There's a girl saying, "Oh, but our environment are getting destroyed." Okay, so you bought the car because the damage that's being caused to the environment, and now you're destroying it. Like,
It's an
how can
electric
they?
car company. Like,
But how are they saying this without thinking ahead? Like, do they not hear themselves talk and how stupid they fucking sound?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I don't think logic or rationality is a big feature in a lot of the thought these days from these kind of people. But I'm gonna show here the share price of Tesla, and this is. So I mean, actually, not that this is don't take this as. Can you see me here?
Yeah. Just scroll in.
Okay.
Just try to scroll in on your page.
Yeah. All right. So this is if you don't know how to read this here is December 14th, which is the high point. Sorry, December 16th. It was $479 a share, all the way down to today, which is 246. Ooh. Yeah, so that hurts. I mean, that's probably what 60. That's like 55 or something like that.
Yeah,
but
let's call it 50% for sake of argument. Yeah.
And if you look at this long-term chart, you're pretty much gone back down to maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. But the fact of the matter is, this actually probably represents a pretty good buying opportunity. I suspect something's going to happen. Musk might resign as CEO. Like he doesn't have to sell his shares or anything, and he could probably install a puppet or something, someone that he's still going to have sway. But if he did that share price is going to shoot the fuck up 20-30% in 1 or 2 days. And it would not at all surprise me if something like that happens very soon. What's the hat for? Lay it on us.
So for the people out there, Tesla is not a car company. It's a battery company.
Yeah.
That's what they invested billions of money in development is battery technology. So to me, Elon Musk is a smart guy. I think we can agree on that. He's not an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
That guy will use he doesn't care that Tesla's crashing because it has done its course. It has run its course. The technology now is so competitive. Look at how now, even if they wanted to, there's probably better cars than a Tesla that is cheaper to buy than the Tesla. So they're not competitive. They have competition compared to a few years back because they started this whole trend, right? But if you understand that it was a battery technology, what a great thing to be happening right now that they're being attacked. What is he going to get bailed out like the banking companies back in 2009 under Obama when they crashed the fucking economy, they crashed the housing market? Are we going to save that company because the only reason that it's lost 55% of its value is because of terrorists? Do you see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the company, it would have started going down no matter what, because they're not competitive the way they used to be, because there's so much competition now. And
For sure.
Teslas are a premium car. They're not cheap cars, right? So the technology's been developed. If you understand that that company is a battery technology company, they already have all the information that they need. They've extracted that, and they started Tesla bought, not Tesla, but Elon Musk bought a battery technology company in Texas. I've spoken about this before. And their role is to install massive batteries tied to the electric system, the electric grid, so that if it ever goes down, they can power the whole grid based on battery until it comes back up. So technically, what they had to discover has already been discovered. What a great plan. If that was, they're starting seeing that. And the reason Elon Musk continues flapping his mouth is just the fact that for all he cares, the company might get saved. He knew it would crash at one point, or at least it wouldn't be worth as much. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but if I can think about this, I guarantee you a guy like him has thought about this before.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I doubt he's trying to do this. It still represents a large chunk of his net
doesn't
worth.
care, but he doesn't. I don't think he cares.
Worth. Like, he's probably lost like a net worth of probably 40 or 50 billion.
Yeah, but he made it back.
That's got to hurt. But I'm sure he sees an opportunity here, because usually
that's my point.
That's how stock prices work. If it goes down, a lot of times it will go up, especially if the factor that caused it to go down in the first place is removed. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he announces at some point that he's going to step down as CEO while retaining a advisory role, which of course will essentially in practice still be the same. He'll still call the shots. He'll install some puppet guy as CEO, and then he probably will buy a shit ton of more stock at this low price, and then gain $100 billion in net worth when it shoots back up, and then laugh all the way to the bank on the back of these dumb shit liberals.
Because again, Tesla is not a car company. It's a battery technology company. And what's to say that they don't have specific patents on their batteries that the other company that he owns will have to pay for? So no matter what, those guys are smart. Like, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They will find an advantage in this and make more money. He's not the richest man on the planet by fluke. It's not a fluke.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jason says, what would be smart is to buy low from the crash and then watch the stock source new models. Yeah, and like, one of the main things I think that the stock market has really hit Tesla stock, the reason it's crashed, is because I think they're thinking that right now, if you're gonna buy a car, let's say you were in the market for a Tesla, and even if you're not political whatsoever, but you know that all these Teslas are going around and getting damaged everywhere,
you wouldn't buy it.
There's a good chance you're not going to buy it, right? So I think they're trying to price that in, that sales are probably almost certainly going to go down over the next year or 2 years. But of course, if Musk steps down, that probably will remove that risk a lot, and you would see a lot of money flow back into Tesla.
But as I said too, don't put it past them, considering that Pam Bundy has announced that she considers it terrorism.
Yep.
Don't be surprised if they invest money in Tesla and save them, and Trump comes out. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm telling you that I strongly believe that the same thing they did for the bankers in 2008, 2009, when they crashed the market, they're going to say the only reason he's lost 55% of the value of Tesla is because people are mad at what he's doing for me. So we need to save Elon Musk, because Elon Musk
I could see something.
I wish Jason was there. So that's my point. He's not going to lose. No matter what, he's not going to lose. And at the end of the day, he's winning.
Heads he wins, tails he lose, kind of thing. And Prairie, true journalism would present the facts and let you come to your conclusions instead of leading people. Yeah, exactly, right. And I mean, that's what we do on this show. Like, we obviously have our own opinions, but we're open about that. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to.
I even put a hat on when I'm telling you that you probably won't agree.
Yeah, you probably did.
Like, you have a visual cue for when we're going off the deep end. So there you go.
Yeah. Jason, mostly no one disagrees about the destruction of property. Fuck with my property and stocks will go up when the Louisville Slugger baseball bats. For real, like Nico, I don't play that shit. Exactly, right? People are going to start pushing back, especially if they feel like the authorities are not.
Yep.
Monsieur Marino, where I'm living in the U.S.,
bro?
I've not seen any Teslas on the road since last week. I think the people who have them are keeping them in the garage. Jason says, to Mr. Memorino, I take my daughter to school every morning, and what we do is count Teslas on the way to school. Today we got to 44. Now that's the mean streets of Hermosa Beach, right?
Yeah, but hold on. You're in California where the leftists reside.
And I assume, Jason, Hermosa Beach is probably quite left-leaning.
And I don't think they're poor either.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? So that's why Harvard-educated.
His wife is Harvard-educated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The thing that Jason didn't tell you is that there's 2 Teslas in their garage. So they're 44, but it's really 40. No, I don't know. I'm just talking shit right now.
Probably. But that's gonna be embarrassing for all those all those lefties to be driving Teslas these days. They're all running out to the store to buy those stickers like that guy had in the video.
Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that. I wish I would have thought of those stickers, bro. Because if you go to Etsy right now, I did it just for shits and gigs. There's probably 10 to 20 sellers that are selling some type of variation of that sticker.
Prairie says 44. Holy, she says she's seen only one. Carnage says, I'm not sure if Trump would do that simply because of the optics. I don't know. I feel like Trump don't give a shit about optics. Yeah.
He's not getting reelected.
Yeah.
Obama could pull off billions and billions and billions when they crashed the market. Like the bankers were responsible for crashing the market in 2008. This was not a fluke. They knew exactly. They gambled. They lost. Obama had to save them. So it would be an easy sell for Trump to actually save Elon Musk, especially that he's at the head of Doge. And it's easy to see that the only reason Tesla's losing value is because of the role that he's playing in Doge. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. I don't think we can. No, I don't think he should be saved. But you can't agree with me. You can't disagree that the reason his company's tanking is not because of the role that he's playing with Doge. Like, come on.
That's right. And I mean, the fact of the matter is you got to understand Trump's psychology, his personality. I think he relishes that. He relishes the bad optics. He likes doing shit like that, where to say, you're going to fuck with me, because he'll take that personally. He'll understand that the Tesla thing, it's because of Musk, but it's really because of him. It's because of Musk's support of him. And Trump, you got to say, he makes so much more sense when you think of him as a classic mafia don. Right? He demands loyalty, but he also rewards loyalty, right? And
kiss the ring, bitch.
Exactly. And but if you kiss the ring and you get hurt for it, like Elon Musk did, I could see him doing something and taking that personally, and doing something, basically saying, I'm gonna bail him out because you leftist fucks, and come at me, bro. Basically, that's just his thing.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. I totally agree with you. He loves it.
And he doesn't care about, like re-election. Although I saw something funny the other day with Steve Bannon. He was, that fucking Bannon there. He was on, I think it was, who it was? It was Gavin Newsom's show. And he asked Bannon, he's like, who's going to run in 2028 on the Republican side? And Bannon goes, Donald Trump. and Newsom's like, well, he can't. And Bannon's like, I'm just saying, we're working on it. He said, we're working on it. I assume Bannon's a master troll too, just freaking up.
Why not? Because they're gonna freak out. It's easy.
Oh yeah,
it's easy.
Memorino says he's in the dirty South, so he's in truck country.
Where are you from, bro? Because I'm in the dirty South too. I'm in Alabama. It's as dirty as it gets.
It's as dirty as.
Do you know what people drive here? Just like me, they drive a fucking truck. We're no Homo sapiens down here with our Teslas.
Jason, Hermosa Beach is MAGA country. Interesting. That is why the neighborhood is safe. I'm a smart fucking lefty. That's cool. That's real cool.
I love the fact that he admits to it at least. See, that's one thing I like about Jason. It's MAGA country. That's why it's safe, but I'm a smart lefty.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate that he can understand the some of the factors. Like there's good and bad for both sides, for sure.
But he understands the irony and he plays on it, and that's what I like.
We're getting into some deep in the weeds here. Joe Stradamus, the TARP bill was written under W. Then Obama hired the guy who wrote it to run the Treasury. That was Paulson,
He's talking
wasn't
about
it? Hank
but
Paulson.
yes, Joe. It was done under. You're absolutely right. It was
Either
done
that or
under
Geithner.
under W. But it took time to get there. But it is still Obama that applied it. He's the one that had to give the speech saying that we need to save the bankers. Unfortunately. He's the one that had to deal with the consequences of this. I'm not saying that Obama was responsible for the bankers fucking us. No. What I'm saying is that he's the one that had to take it on the chin and kind of deal with the situation. At the same time, I think the same play is going to happen here. Trump is going to take it on the chin, but unlike Obama, Trump will fucking woo! My fault, bitches! He's gonna want it, right?
I mean, for you guys that have been, maybe 40 or older, have been around for a little while, I'm thinking of that crash in 2028, and I'm thinking, man, so much of like the radicalization of even today comes from that. And I'm thinking two main events, that 2028 crash and 9/11, seems like it really fucked everything. Like before that, people who remember times before 9/11, it was a different world, wasn't it? Like, yeah, we had problems, of course, but maybe I'm being nostalgic, but it seems like everything really went to shit. 9/11 made America fucking whack job, crazy. And then the crash just fucking radicalized. It changed the right fundamentally. And then of course the right and then the left became radicalized in relation to the right. But I don't know. I seem to remember a time when I was young too. I was still only like 16, 17, but a lot of the craziness is just, it wasn't around.
Because I just Googled Obama saves the banker 2009. Yep. It's one speech after the other. Oh, it's shameful what they done with the bonuses. Do you remember that? Oh, they got saved and they signed each other.
They took the bailout and filled their pockets. Man.
That was all. Unfortunately, that was under Obama, but I think it's a good thing that it was under Obama because he was a great speaker. As much as I dislike the man, I cannot take it away from him that he was great at giving speeches, and he made it emotional. Like, we need to do this, guys.
Yeah.
You know that we.
Well, you felt good about it, right? Yeah. Give the bankers trillions. Yeah, I love this guy, Obama. And then you wake up with the worst hangover the next day. Oh, what did we do, man? What did we do last night?
$1 trillion.
They literally held the gun to America's
ABC
head.
News, March 23rd, 2009. The plan to remove so-called toxic assets cost $1 trillion. It was Obama's $1 trillion plan to end bank crisis.
But you know what that means?
$1 trillion. Like, it's not a number that I can...
Back then. $1 trillion in 2028, completely different than $1 trillion today. But like, and of course they wrap it in these, toxic assets. Well, of course we have to get rid of those. What that means is buying shitty investments from filthy rich bankers so that they get made whole, while the rest of it, man, I'm getting radicalized just now thinking about it. Like I fucking.
So it's 1.3. No, hold on.
God,
no, it was Americans. Well, I think it was one. So it was $1 trillion. Like, have you ever seen the number? It's 1 with 12 zeros behind it. Like, the number's this fucking long.
Wild, man. Like
well, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Think of how much a billion is, right? $1 billion fucking dollars. That's a lot of money. $1 trillion is 1,000 of those. You can have 999 billion, and you're still not to $1 trillion yet. Fucking insane.
So today, oh man, that's insane. March 21st, 2025. We're looking, 1 trillion is worth 1.36 trillion. So we're literally 36%
an extra
increase
300 billion.
Over the span of not even 20 years.
Oh,
zing.
Fuck, man. I don't know, like what they held a gun to the American people's head. It literally was.
But those fuckers just took the money, the bailout money. We're gonna give each other
themselves a juicy check. Meanwhile, foreclosing on grandma, who, because she couldn't afford her mortgage payment, and fucking man, people were radicalized.
They were upside down, as they called them. Do you remember that expression?
Yep.
Upside down on your
you
mortgage.
Owe 200,000 on your home, and it's worth 50 or something.
and I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not laughing at what happened to the people. I'm laughing at the irony, and I'm laughing that I called it first, right here, today, March 21st. Trump is going to do that to Elon Musk's Tesla company. Look at this. I'm going to laugh my ass off because you know this shit's it's a matter of time. But the difference between him and Obama took it on the chin and he's like, it's a good thing he was a good speaker because he made it palatable. Somehow he sold it. But Trump is just going to be, I need to help my friend Elon. He's the most marvelous guy I know.
And I'm going to throw my prediction out there, and we'll compare them side by side when they come. Elon's going to step down as CEO, and the share price is going to shoot the fuck up. And you're going to find out that Elon Musk bought a shit ton of shares down at this lower level, is what I think.
Maybe both is going to happen.
Could be. Well, yeah,
because technically
that's another
one
thing.
doesn't prevent the other.
And in fact, if Donald Trump came out and said we're bailing out Tesla, the share price would also shoot through the roof, right?
So you know what? I retract what I said. I think it's going to be a mix of your theory and mine. I think
yeah.
One thing's for sure: if these two fucking idiots can,
fucking
I'm trying to point at you and me. Those guys have been thinking about this way before we even.
A couple of meatballs over here, fucking figure it out. But either way, I would honestly, and do not take this as any actual investment advice because we're just a couple of yahoos in our fucking kitchen. But I would seriously consider buying Tesla stock right now. Not based on anything to do with the company. I don't know anything about the financials, just the politics surrounding it and what I think. I think Musk will probably step down just because his shareholders will probably force him to.
But it would make sense though. He should have done that prior to it. But the fact that he didn't, he had a plan. That's why I'm saying that there's something behind this.
Because he must have known that. You can't be surprised this is going to happen, man. Like
no, because most of the people running the government are leftists. So by going after USAID, you're attacking leftists. By going after the education system, it's leftists. Attacking government workers, leftists.
Well, even the Nazi salute thing, right? Like I think there's two.
That was a really dumb move, though. Let's agree on that.
Yeah. For sure.
But did you see the pictures afterwards? Like Hillary Clinton did it, Kamala Harris did it.
Yeah.
AOC, the dumb did it too. Like. Come on.
I'm not opposed to the idea that he might have done it on purpose. It's not that he's an actual Nazi. He's a fucking troll.
It's because
he's also autistic as fuck. So
just look his X account.
It's 50-50. He's either just
look at his X account. He is a fucking troll. He is a massive fucking troll.
Absolutely, he is.
You want to take some comments so before we go to the next one?
Yep. Yeah, let's get on. Okay, so Jason says MAGA people can still be your friend after an election. DNC hacks cannot. Just one man's observation, but do share that sentiment. Thoughts? I agree with you, Jason, and that's again, like we're both on the left, right? And we don't agree on every single issue, but I think broadly speaking, we agree on a lot of things. But we also agree. I think a huge problem is the culture on the left. This idea that like. You literally can't even be friends with a person who's not on your side. And that's wrong, right? That something has gone wrong. I even see it in my family, right? Like we very specifically do not talk about politics.
I cannot wait for you to invite me home.
Oh yeah, we'll have you over for home cooked
so
dinner.
That I can. I'm just gonna show up at McGregor.
Oh, yeah, boot the door down. Yeah.
Here's
time for the far right Nazi.
Here's the racist.
Everybody, the racist that hates women.
Oh, by the way, did you see that post I made on that comment I made on your post? Now that you're saying that,
yeah. That was funny. I did see that. Wow, why do you hate women so much?
There's so many people that are just liking it because I think they understand what this means. But that expression's ours, bro. This is ours. This is our expression.
People who watch the show, they know. But I think you're. Hey, why do you hate women? I think you're right, Jason. I think that has to change. I think we have to get to a place where we can be friends with people on the other side, because it isn't healthy for us to be like this.
No, of course.
Joe Stradamus, I'm saying the bankers on the parties. You'll never.
Obviously, but this was the perfect example. Shit happened under Clinton. And Obama did the same thing. Clinton, Bush It happened under Bush. Obama did exactly what Bush would have done too. So we agree on that one. We agree.
If there's such thing as like an like a reverse tinfoil hat, you'd put it on for that statement, because that's not even remotely conspiracy theory. That's just fact.
No. Yeah.
Jason, that was Bush and Change World. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Jason again. So, but he did put a 90% tax on those bonuses, so he hurt them, and the government took that money and put it in their back pocket. Wall Street paid that money back. Where is it? Yeah, I mean,
so,
I feel like a lot
basically,
of stuff
the taxpayers' money paid $1 trillion back to the bankers. The bankers paid themselves massive bonuses.
Yeah, they took their cut.
The government took 90% of it. At the end of the day, you and I got fucked.
Yeah, I suspect if you trace that money, you'd find a lot of it in Nancy Pelosi's bank account. You know, that's probably how you get $240 million.
You gotta stop with the insults of Pelosi.
So you hate women.
Greatest investor of all time.
Yes,
why do you hate women?
Yes,
stop it. Stop.
Okay, we're almost done. Jason, Republicans oppose this big pie, but they were first in line to get their slice. Up, down people, not left, right. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of opposition is
very well said.
Opposition.
Up, down people, not left, right.
Yeah.
God damn.
No, that's right.
For a guy that wasn't supposed to be on the show, you're talking a lot, Mr. Jason.
Yeah. I think that you're right. I think at the end of the day, a lot of this left-right stuff is a cover to pick the pockets of the rest of us. And yeah, I'm just reading Jason's here now. Don't think that Pelosi's not invested in Tesla. The fix is in. Get the Pelosi app and invest what she's investing in. I assume that there's an actual app. I mean, I don't think
there is.
There's an actual
no. There's an actual app that guys created, and they follow Pelosi. Pelosi. So you know what the SP 500 is?
Yep.
So
SP 500. Yeah. It's a 500 biggest companies, but it's like a general just snapshot of the stock market. If it goes up, the market's gone
basically,
up.
Basically, the idea, it's about the only very sure investment that you can have that's been developed by bankers. Basically, they buy shares of the five most successful companies in the US. They put that as one trading option, and you can just put money in it. And over the past few decades, it averages about a growth of 10% every year.
Yeah.
This is,
and then they use it as
good. Yeah.
They use it as your benchmark. If you can beat the S&P 500, you're a good investor.
Pelosi did twice the amount of, somehow there's a graph. I should have kept it. There's a graph that starts, here's how much money you would have invested in the SP 500 and if you invest in Pelosi. And it's just like, she's following trend, but she keeps on going up and up. She doubled the revenue that the SP 500 did. It's fucking bullshit.
How is this allowed? How is this allowed? This is not a partisan thing.
No.
Carney, you are both invited to our home near Kingston, Ontario anytime. We may take you up on that someday, Carney.
Hey, bro, no homo though. No eye contact. No.
Yeah. We don't make eye contact, but you know how it works.
Well, if it's in person, maybe.
You've been here long enough. You've been here.
We'll see.
For super fans, we'll make an exception. And Joe Stradamus. So we get to the main point. It kind of makes the extreme left-right division at ground level kind of looks kind of contrived. I agree with you. I mean, and that's, we talk about this. This is kind of our wheelhouse.
I forgot. I'm sorry. So we can make eye contact, is what you're saying. Yes, eye contact.
That's really funny. I don't know why. I always thought Carney was a man too, but I guess bold of me.
Why don't you like women? Why do you automatically assume that somebody that has intelligent comments is a man? Why?
More like
why do you do that?
The blood in the screen name. But Carney, it was. We may take you up on that though, and it would be our honor if we're ever in that.
How's your cooking, by the way? Because this is where I'm sexist. I assume that a 60-year-old woman can bake.
That's just facts. So that's just facts. That's just reality.
I'm not saying you belong in the kitchen. I'm just saying you're probably used to it.
I'm actually a pretty good cook, to be honest. She says, "Great, okay, we're definitely coming then."
As in, we're coming over.
Yeah.
Let's
Jesus.
be
Jesus. Let's move.
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Sorry,
You had to
it's
go there.
Friday.
It had to,
Sorry, it's Friday.
one step over.
Oh, come on. That's a surprise to you?
Yeah, no,
Like
it
I
isn't
do
at
it
all.
every
It isn't at
single
all.
day.
It isn't.
No.
It isn't at all.
Oh Jesus, I'm almost crying.
Um,
Damn, that's good.
So just very quickly before we move on, I just want to go back to Joe's point here. Have you guys ever seen the meme where it's like there's a MAGA guy and a purple-haired far leftist, and they're sort of fighting each other, but then there's a Monopoly guy kind of character like behind them pulling the strings. And I mean, I agree with the broad sentiment of that. Like, of course, some of these issues are genuine issues, especially for the people, that are feeling them. But I think it's not that they're fake issues, but what it is the 1% and the elites have a very strong incentive to dig into the cracks, dig into the small differences between us and make them big differences. And I think we really should kind of keep an eye out on that and be aware of that, because that kind of stuff derives most of its power from us not even thinking about it, right? Most people don't. Most people think a lot of this is organic, and I do not. I think a lot of it is intended to cause division, and this is where a lot of the uniparty stuff comes from, right? A lot of the left-right divide does seem very often to be contrived.
So now that we've seen how what's happening with Tesla in both the US and Canada, how obviously it is very different in the way that we deal with it in Canada compared to the US. But as you can see right here, I changed it. It looks so much better now. There's a politician out of Canada called Jeremy Caradona that is calling on Carney to declare the MAGA movement as an extremist organization and clamp down on its activities, ban X in Canada as hostile propaganda.
What?
Yet, did you see the studies that show that X is the most
50-50?
Exactly. So this is the guy we're talking about.
Of course it is.
So just
of course it is.
Yeah. No. But you know what's the funniest about this? And Canada Proud is actually not a bad account. If you want to get news, obviously they're very biased to conservative news. The left conservative, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But this is what's interesting. So I saw that yesterday and I started laughing because I'm like, well, duh. This is not surprising. So you have somebody that is calling MAGA movement, that wants to have the MAGA movement declared as an extremist organization. And he wants to ban X in Canada because it is hostile propaganda. Now, remember what I just said. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that it connects to what I was talking about earlier. Because one thing I did not mention, oh shit, we forgot this. One thing I did not mention, in the last subject we're talking about, the Tesla dude that the Tesla person, let's call it a person for now.
Okay.
But the Tesla person that threw cocktail Molotovs at those Tesla cars, did you know that that's a tranny?
No.
That person.
I did. I saw a picture of that.
The name. Oh no, hold on. I'm so sorry. I forgot one of the most juicy part of it. I didn't think
one in Las Vegas where the car was lit on, cars were lit on fire.
It's in Colorado. Hold on.
Okay.
I got an article right here. Let me show this. I just forgot to say that on the last one. So the person that threw cocktail Molotov at cars is they call it the trans Tesla vandal, which is fucking hilarious. New York Post has the funniest of articles. They don't give a fuck. But he lives with his mom and calls herself baby. But this is the dude. Obviously. No, but hold on. This is the guy. He was captured on camera. But this is where it gets fucking funny. Obviously, he burns Nazi and he likes to wear masks in public.
Yep.
What's funny is this. This is what I wanted to take the time. So this is the person that threw. Oh, see, you see the video at the bottom. Love it. So you see the video here of what we're talking about. But I wanted to mention that how surprised are you to learn that the person that did that is a dude dressing as a woman. How
Okay,
surprised
so
are
I'm,
you?
so I mean, there's obviously other people that are not trans, right? It's not that this like
Agreed.
I don't
No,
want to,
I agree.
and we'll put that out there, right? That's we're not saying like, oh, this is
No.
the trans and blah 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 blah.
No.
But how surprised am I? I am not that surprised. So if you are involved in this debate,
So keep your thought. Keep your thought. Keep your thought
Okay.
right here. Let me, because I just wanted to point out that one of the person that burned cars, that threw cocktail Molotovs at cars, is a tranny. Now, what did we say earlier? The people that spray painted the Tesla car dealership in Montreal, climate fight. They're environmental activists, but let's call a spade a spade. They're climate change activists. Well, they're criminals, but they label themselves as climate change activists.
And those are the two extremist movements within the left right
But hold
now.
on. This is why this story connects so
You're
well
building it
together.
up? All right.
Guess what? Guess what? This dude, the dude, and again, I'm going to repeat just to put it back. Jeremy Cardona, which is a city councilor, want Mark Carney to label the MAGA movement as an extreme organization. And he also wants X to be banned in Canada because of its hostile propaganda. What do you think that his career is?
Ooh, I'm going to say transgender climate activists.
No, it's actually even worse than that.
Oh, really?
Not only is he a city councilor, but he also is, and I have his definition right here. He is a PhD teacher at the University of Victoria and British Columbia. And you know what his specialty is?
What?
Environmental studies and the human dimensions of climate change.
Interesting.
Is that surprising to you? And here is the proof right here.
So yeah, and like what, and again, just to clarify,
how to talk about climate change in the age of Trump.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's clear, like we're not saying that all trans people are violent or anything like that.
No,
and certainly not all people who believe in climate change. But I have serious questions, but I would still put myself in the camp of I think it's a problem. How much of a problem? I'm not sure. But like, the fact of the matter is, of the extremist groups within the left, they are almost always connected to one of those two groups. Always. So it's one of those things where it's like, of course, not all trans people are violent, and not all climate change activists are violent, but all the violent people are almost always trans people and violent activists. There's been a rash of mass shootings by trans
in
the
past few years. There were literally every single one of them were, or they were on some type of psychological medication. Like they had massive issues that was addressed by medication.
And
but you know the question I'd like to ask you, and I don't know, but maybe you do. How do you believe that all trans believe in climate change?
Oh, I would say the Venn diagram is a circle. You probably like 100%.
Obviously, not all climate change supporters are trans.
Yes,
but I would argue that every single trans out there believes in climate change.
Well, and this is what, you know, why I did like having Judith Curry on, because for me, I want to separate the actual real climate change issue, like the actual change of the climate, from the
science
politics
and the activism.
And the politics of climate change, because those are two completely different things, and they have radically diverged in recent years. And frankly, the politics of climate change is really harming the actual science of climate, or like the perception of climate change these days. A lot, like you see people throwing cans of soup on fucking priceless works of art. I saw them deface Stonehenge, for fuck's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't help. That does not help. And that is why I say, you know, I would say that the Venn diagram is probably a circle, because the politics of transgenderism just perfectly aligns with the politics of climate change, which is a separate thing from actual climate change.
Do you want to laugh though? So of course I Googled, do trans believe in climate change? The AI responds, yes, many transgender individuals are actively engaged in climate activism and recognize the disproportionate
That's such
impact of
that's what I'm
climate
talking
change
about,
on marginal
man.
communities, including the LGBTQ plus communities. Because, bro,
That-
did you not realize that not only is climate change real, but depending on your sexual
Mhm.
preferences, it will impact you more?
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
just a white guy, so that's, you know what? That's probably why I don't believe in climate.
Your
and
neighbor's
using
house is underwater.
climate change, because
Your gay neighbor's house is underwater. Meanwhile, you're sitting there like sitting pretty because you're a straight guy. Aha! Like, it's so nonsense. It's so ridiculous. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about, man. Stop with that shit. It just harms the actual real business of climate change or the actual perception of it. Like, when you see nonsense like that, it's okay. It is okay to talk about an issue without centering the identity of a fucking some marginalized group in everything. Like, what is the mechanism?
Stop, bro. They are more impacted by climate change than I
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, because all the
hey, can you stop? The science has been settled.
Yeah, it's been settled, sir. The science has been settled. Because anytime I ask someone what is a mechanism for that, they're like, oh well, marginalized poor people often live on the coast. Oh yeah, waterfront property. Everyone knows the poor people. That all goes to the poor people, right? Like, come on,
Now,
quick, grow the fuck up,
so-
man. Open up, wake up.
Obama, which pushed that agenda for years, the climate change. What did he do when he retired? Bought a house in what was it?
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yes,
that's right on the coast.
yes.
We're gonna be underwater, people.
Insert
insert
JD Vance .jpeg.
But see, this is why I wanted to bring that up, because what I found absolutely funny is the climate change professor wants to call MAGA an extremist group, when, as you so mentioned, the people that tend to be the most violent on the left are from the trans and the climate change groups.
Well,
But let's not talk about them though. Let's talk about MAGA, and they're the problem.
Guys in the red hats. And you know what's interesting though is, of course, that's almost an inevitable result when you understand how the left talks to these groups.
Yeah.
They tell trans people that society wants them dead. So, just because we say, bro, no one wants you dead, just stay out of women's bathrooms. It's cool. Don't go after kids, and then wear as many dresses as you want. Wear 10 dresses at once, man. We don't give a shit. But then they take what's a very reasonable concern, not wanting men in female sports, not wanting men in female spaces, and say, oh, they want to kill you. Well, of course, some of them are going to turn extremists when they hear that rhetoric. And then with the climate change thing, again, I do think it's real, and I think it's a problem, but it's impossible not to ignore the fact that it is also being used as an extreme method and tool of control. And that makes me very skeptical, because I've seen this story before. I've seen that movie before, and it makes me very skeptical about what's really going on with climate change, because I'm not a climate scientist. I need to rely on the media to tell me. I need to rely on the scientists to tell me. And if I do not trust them, where do I go from there?
That one's for you.
Yeah,
what is Al Gore doing these days?
What is Al Gore? He's inventing the internet. Internet 2.0 is what he's inventing.
You know what he's doing? He's chilling on his beachfront property.
Yes.
Looking at all the money that he's made with this fucking propaganda. That's what Al Gore's fucking doing. Well, let's take a few comments, because I got one more thing I wanted to talk about, because that's what the question of the day was. So go for it.
The climate has always changed. The only thing affecting our climate more is a manipulation in our skies. I mean, yes, the climate has always changed, and I do believe that human-made CO2 does contribute somewhat to warming. What's not clear at all to me is if, like, all of these doomsday predictions, if those come true, those sorts of things. I just have no way of knowing. The media has completely lost my trust, and when I see even the science, when I hear people talking about the science on issues like transgender things, when they tell me the science tells me that humans can change sex, or the science tells me that men can give birth, and then another issue like the science tells me about that the RNA vaccine is completely safe, and we know that's not true, and all these other issues where the science we're being beat over the head with the science, and then it turns out to be false. So yes, even though you haven't disproved the climate change narrative, when all you have to use against me is the science, and I see all these other scenarios where you have completely lost my trust by lying about it, how the fuck am I supposed to hold on to these things? And again, this goes as the short-sightedness that I was talking about earlier. The media has no idea what they've done to themselves, and it's I don't know what the answer to this is. The point about climate is a manipulation in our skies. I assume that means that's a reference
the chemtrails.
To the chemtrails. I'm not even going to touch that. I don't.
No. But all I'm going to say is, I wish I kept that video. There was a video on my Instagram this week. It's basically a plane just going normally, and then midair, it's like, oh shit, I forgot to turn on the chemtrails. It starts producing the chemtrail. But no, bro, one thing's for sure. Chemtrails are real. Like, it's been proven so many times. It has been analyzed, and yes, they can change, they can affect the climate. They can. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm looking at videos right now, hundreds of them explaining how to do it, and it comes from pilots that will confirm that that's what they're doing. So
if you're talking about cloud seed and stuff, that's real science for sure.
But we called it chemtrails. Now they developed a word that sounds so much cooler. That is cloud seeding, but that is changing the climate. That's what chemtrails are. They're chemical trails that are changing the climate. So what she's saying is bang on, but I just love the video. It's just, oh shit.
Forgot it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, brother, turn it on.
Bro.
The new DNC platform is identity politics, perpetual grievance, and victimhood. So they haven't learned a goddamn thing. This is literally if you had to sit down and be like, how can we come up with a platform that will get us destroyed in the next election? This is what you would come up with. I'm actually going to look into that, because that sounds ridiculous. But I believe you. I absolutely believe you, because that's exactly the kind of thing that they would do. I thought they might be a little smarter than that, but I guess not.
I'll take 2 more comments, then we'll flip to the other one. But Carnage is saying, I've been hearing the end is near since the 70s. And she's old enough to remember. So
yeah, that's the other
I'm
thing.
I'm going to trust her.
Yep.
And Joel Stradamus, remember the native guy with the single tear? Man, I forgot about that. He's looking at a field of pollution, and he's just do you not remember that? Do you not know what he's talking about?
Was it an ad?
Yeah, it was an ad. I'm pretty sure it was Canadian.
It
was just like the native is there, and then he turns around, and then there's pollution on the ground, and he's just like,
no.
It was the native guy cry pollution commercial.
In the UK, they call radiation management or something like that. Man, they really need to step their branding game up, because that sounds terrible. Who decided that would be a good sounding word? Chemtrails isn't working. Let's go with radiation management. Promote that, man.
Yeah.
When the
sky all about marketing, bro.
Yeah, when the skies crisscross with chemtrails, you can't not notice it when it happens. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely clear they're putting things in the sky. I guess what is that?
Oh, bro, this
is
let's
not go down.
This is a right. You don't want to start me on this one.
No.
We don't have that much time. How much trouble do you want us to get on?
8-hour special?
No, but how much trouble do you want us to get on YouTube?
Let's try
not getting banned today, or are we trying to be
starting to really pick up. Let's try not to.
Let's make sure to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I'm downloading the video that.
Oh, the single tier?
Yeah, I found it. Okay. Google is great, huh? Indian guy crying pollution. Ow.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's how racist I am, bro.
Indian guy.
Yeah, native. Sorry. I apologize.
Indigenous.
Where did it go? Hold on. I got a video here. I think I didn't click on. Oh, I clicked on images. Dumb. So you want to see this? You ready for this? Here's the video. 1970s, bro. Because that's how they dress, right? When they're going for a stroll in their kid
racist.
Of course he'd be with his canoe right there.
Here's the problem. He's paddling in a fucking harbor. I mean, that's why.
The music. Yeah, oh, bro.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once
What do you
this
mean
country.
by some people?
And some people don't. People start pollution. People.
That's just an offensive caricature, man. I would be wearing that as a Halloween costume.
Okay,
That's hilarious.
Okay. You know what? It's Friday. It's Friday. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was saying it's funny how like the woke left, how like the definition of race has changed, because that would have been woke for back then, right? And now, like, fucking, you'd be fried if you ever tried to. And try wearing that as a Halloween costume. See what happens to you.
Just take a couple of one. I'm trying to find something that, since we're down the racist rabbit hole.
Well, speaking and we'll go down another rabbit hole of just funny old commercials. Do you remember the robot that was like doing flips through that metal planet? He was like Ashtar the robot, and his arm got sawed off, and he puts his arm. He can put his arm back on. You can't. So play safe. It was a slice of Canadiana.
Okay, hold on. I think I got it. Right here. What was it? Hold on. I just want the clip. I don't want the full people talking about it.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, bro. That video. Oh, bro, it is so long. Oh, come on. Shut up, TikTok.
So for those curious, we did win the appeal, so we're back on TikTok.
We're back on.
Yeah, we got a legal team like OJ Simpson had. We had the legal dream team.
Exactly, but I wear black gloves. Let me, you know what? Give me 2 seconds. If there's comments, take them. I'm just going to download the video.
Carney, she just tagged me on the NOAA post on solar radiation management. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. Prairie, our best Canadian commercial has to be the House Hippo. Speaking about media today, that was a great one. I was so disappointed when I found the House Hippo. Yeah, it was like this sort of CBC.
Oh
commercial.
yes,
like
the little thing that could
house
grow.
Hippos. Yeah, well, it's like an actual hippo, but it was like only the size of a dog, and it was like explaining the life, like, you know, house hippos, they don't like to be outside too much, and you know, you have to feed your house hippo every day. And then at the end, it's like, that looked really real, didn't it? And then it was like zoomed out, and you realize it's like, don't trust everything you see on TV. And it was so disappointing when you realize, because up until then, as a kid, you're like, oh my god,
I want one
house hippo. Yeah, that was it's always fun to sit when you're with other
ready?
Canadians. Yeah, okay.
I'm most fucking racist. This was on MTV in the 90s. It is the most racist shit you've ever seen. You wanted to remove that comment from there? It is so racist.
Oh yeah.
And it's a white guy and an Asian guy. I don't remember what their names are, but they're on the podcast. And the white guy, obviously, he's like, "Hey, what do you think about this commercial?" Saying to the Asian guy, "Listen to this. This is the fun."
Look like a commercial that would have been on MTV2 back then, you know?
Yeah.
Like this looks like.
Celebrate our differences. No, they're not showing the video. Damn! Not a right one. Hold on. Damn!
I feel like I was that a real commercial?
Oh yeah. No. I need to show you. You need to see the graphic. You can't just hear about it. Oh, let's celebrate our differences. There you go. I got the video right.
Celebrate our differences. Oh, we got a comment from Aramasher. I believe this is your first time commenting. Welcome. And our second Twitch comment.
He's trying to sell me shit. Oh no.
No, because he's
Sorry,
talking about
bro.
yeah. That's what I thought first.
My bad.
Yeah,
I thought
It's
he was
about
trying to sell us shit.
Yeah. It looked like because we do get spam comments here sometimes, and it
Yeah,
looked at first like
especially
one of those.
from Twitch.
Yeah.
We always get that fucking guy. I know that's a guy. I know that's a guy. That's not a woman. Like,
Yeah.
I can be sexist on that one. We all know it's a dude that's
Mhm.
trying to sell us services.
Definitely.
But I found the best video, and the funniest part, there's an actual warning at the beginning. It's on YouTube. They're like, hey guys, yeah, be careful with this video because it's you could be potentially your feelings could be hurt by this. And
Okay.
bro, the fact that this actually was on TV kind of blows my mind. Check this out. This is the funniest fucking shit.
Potentially offensive content ahead. Trigger warnings. I assume
We
this
got to celebrate our differences.
Oh.
We got to celebrate our differences. Ooga booga doo, ooga
We don't say
booga
ooga
doo. We
booga.
got to celebrate our differences. Nacho taco, chimichanga. 'Cause it's beautiful when the whole world sings together as one.
Is this real?
I swear to you.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
We gotta say that shit is hilarious.
That is amazing.
Bro,
I
I'm fucking
want you to say
crying.
that.
This is such a good video. Oh fuck. Oh, that is so good. Woo, I'm fucking
Was that
crying
Canadian?
after-
Was that Canadian or American?
Oh no, I think it's American.
Okay.
It's
so good.
oh
That-
Jesus.
That is
We gotta celebrate. Like tacos and what the fuck did the Mexican the Mexican guys?
I think they were
talking about?
tacos, something tacos.
Chimichangas.
Yeah. That's so good.
Oh,
All right,
man.
I'll take these comments here.
Oh fuck me. That's so funny.
Arrow Master 67. Thank you. It is. Thank you guys for a great podcast. Watch it daily. Well, thank you for that. It's actually
Yeah, man.
it's yeah. We really appreciate that, and not obviously everyone is always commenting. So, I mean,
No,
but
of course
by
not.
all means, keep commenting. We love that stuff. He says that is a link to the documentary on.
It's a woman,
geoengineering.
bro. She just said it. Thank you.
Oh, is she?
I'm a woman
Okay.
in Ottawa.
My bad. Oh yeah, I see that there down. Yep. No, I will definitely check that out. Prairie. Oh my gosh. Jason, just saw a screen of Follow the Silenced. Heartbreaking. Hopefully, it will be a platform brave enough to have this. Just
that
very
about?
briefly, what's that about, Jason? Memorino. Oh, how we used to be, right? Yeah, like, and nobody died back then. Nobody was hurt. Like, people.
And
only
you know,
hurt,
these were white people that made that
Oh,
video.
for
That is
sure,
for
and, like-
sure. At the end, the only one that wasn't characterized, it was the white guy. He just shows up. He's like
Just a regular ass white guy. Yeah.
oh.
But yeah, like, obviously you wouldn't have that today, but I mean, maybe there's something to be said about being like a more innocent time when we weren't looking to be offended at every single thing.
Oh, that's who it was for.
What's that?
Hold on, I got a surprise for you.
Okay.
I got a surprise for you. Then I got another video for you
All right.
that I found because we needed funny shit. I did not know that we would go down this rabbit hole of old school commercial. Thanks,
yeah.
Joe Stradamus, because
Started that
that's
show,
you,
yeah.
bro. That's 100% your fault. But man, oh bagoo. That
Fucking
was so
bones in the
worth it.
nose and everything. Come on.
It's so racist. I love it.
Even in the 70s, I don't know how they got that one through. I don't know how.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. Fuck this shit. We're playing it again. This is just too good. Like, it's very hard for me to understand, to believe that this was actually true. I'm playing it again.
We got to celebrate our differences. We got to celebrate our differences. Ooga booga doo, ooga booga doo. We got to celebrate our differences. Nacho taco, chimichanga.
Yeah, and then just a regularized white guy, normal white guy.
Now, this one is for you, bro. This one is for you, and I remember this. Man, it's been in 1985 that this shit came out.
Oh, is this it? Yes,
Yeah.
Ashtar the robot.
That's who it was.
Oh my god, it's bringing so many memories back. What the hell place is this?
I am Astar, a robot. I can put my arm back on. You can't. So play safe.
Oh man, oh that's cool. We should We could really get down, go down some rabbit holes. Like, remember all the heritage commercials, the CBC heritage commercials?
Prairie is so right. It's even worse. He's not only white, he's a redheaded freckle.
Yeah, that's the caricature. Yeah, it's the redhead.
That's true. That's true. I'm married to a redhead, so it's just normal to me. But she represents the ultimate whiteness. Like, she's a fucking ghost, bro.
She can't
like
go outside, eh?
No, look at me. Like, I look outside and I get tanned. She's like fully protected.
Has to be completely covered. Yeah. That's too funny. All right, let's go back and get some of these. Jason, vaccine injured documentary, true events. Where's that? Was that on YouTube, or is that even? Well, no, it wouldn't be on YouTube now that I think about it. But I'd like to check that out. Prairie, what about the commercial with the old Chinese guy? Yes, the one Chinese man for every mile of the track. That was one of the heritage commercials. There's so many good ones in the heritage commercials.
Now, you know, since you brought up a robot, I wanted to show a creepy video before I show the funny video, because I have 2 more videos I wanted to show. But this, bro, I saw this week. This creeps the shit out of me, but this is real. Yes, Joe, fun video Friday. That's the point.
Yeah,
like
on
if you
Friday,
notice, we're trying. At least that's the idea, because I know it's Friday. People want to go to the weekend. It's a good way to put some funny videos. So I will always have some funny videos. It's just now we're going down a rabbit hole that I'm absolutely fucking enjoying. So thank you for starting this, Joe. But the plan is to have more. It's just
last 20 minutes, half hour of a Friday.
I have a creepy video. This creeps the shit out of me, but this is real. Keep that in mind. This is real. It creeps the shit out of me. Because, man, we're living in science fiction now. This is not AI, bro. This is not made by AI. It is AI, but it's real. It is an actual robot that a Chinese company has developed that can mimic a professional dancer within a matter of a few seconds.
Yeah, that's. I know what you mean. It just feels creepy, right? iRobot kind of stuff.
The thing is, man, I grew up watching Terminator. I grew up watching, you know, what was the name of the Terminator? The entity that takes over Skynet. I grew up watching the iRobots. I grew up watching I'm a big Star Trek buff. I grew up watching science fiction. Now I have the same tabs as Star Trek had. Now we're seeing robots like this from iRobot. I've seen robot have full conversation with people because they're connected online and they're ran by AI. Like, science fiction from when I was a kid is actually reality now. It fucking freaks me out. But oh shit, I still did not get to play my nuclear fusion fucking video.
Fuck. We'll be doing the show 5 years from now, and you'll be like, "Oh god, next week I'm gonna get."
And the guys are like, "Of course, it's been developed."
It will actually have nuclear
exist.
fusion.
Fuck. I wanted to show one more video. Will be right on time. I don't know, but this video, bro, was for you because we need to talk about this next week about how Trump just signed an executive order to dismantle the education, the education department, or what's the real term? Sorry,
it's the Department of Education.
So exactly. So they're trying to dismantle it And then I saw that video yesterday, and all I could think is maybe, just maybe, it's not that bad of an idea. Because no, hold on, hold your thoughts. This, I saw that video yesterday, and I'm like, okay, I can understand why we might need to do this.
Okay, let's see.
Somebody tweeted recently that actually with the money he spent, he could have given every American $1 million.
I've got it. Let's put it up on the screen. When I read it tonight on social media, it kind of all became clear. Bloomberg spent $500 million on ads. U.S. population 327 million. Don't tell us if you're ahead of us on the math. He could have given each American $1 million and have had lunch money left over. It's an incredible way of putting it.
It's an incredible way of putting it.
So for the people that are watching this that might not have seen this, basically it's saying Bloomberg spent $500 million on ad, the US population being $327 million. Basically, instead of spending that much money running ads, they could have given every single American $1 million.
Have you figured out the
It's an
error?
incredible way.
And he's like, no. The guy's like, if you haven't figured out the math, don't say it, because
Okay.
he's saying, he's agreeing with the post. Listen to what he says. Oh, this is such a great way to put it.
Of putting it.
It's an incredible way of putting it. It's true. It's disturbing. It does.
So
$1.53. Yeah.
it would be more $1.53, but this was on mainstream TV, and we wonder why the fuck we don't trust them, because those fucking idiots, it's $1.30. Oh, $1 million for every.
Yeah, it would take what? So, I don't know, a trillion, something like a trillion or a couple trillion, 1.52 trillion probably. But yeah, like that is a good discussion. I do want to have that discussion. And the one thing that like kind of jumped out at me is I think emotionally people think, oh, well, you can't do that, but it doesn't mean you're defunding education. Just the Department of Education, the same amount of money will be spent on public education. It just goes to the states. And if you actually look at the Department of Education, the Department of Education was only created in 1980. And if you look at the literacy rates, they've been going down steadily since 1980 on the fucking dot. So, it's hard to make the case that, or it's not hard to make the case that the Department of Education has been hurting educational outcomes. So, which makes sense. It's like an added layer of bureaucracy. You got to pay all these people. So it's less money that actually goes to students.
The funny part about this is that the numbers were out. I saw numbers of how much was invested, how much the government pays, and how much is going back to the schools and the kids themselves. It was about 25% or 30%. I need to confirm this. This is why today we're not talking about it, because it's going to need, it should be the main subject of an episode. But they were literally showing that about 75% of the funds were going somewhere else, were being invested in shit that had nothing to do with helping kids, similar to USID. Like the funds are going somewhere, but they're not going where they should be going.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think anyone's talking about reducing funding for students. In fact, likely more money will actually go to students.
At least more efficiently. It's going to be spent a lot better.
And I think one of the arguments I heard was like, well, when the Department of Education, essentially what happens is it was a bureaucracy that's created, the DOE gets funded, and then they dole out money to the states. But with that come conditions, right? You've got to teach this. You've got to teach. It just gives the federal government an ability to control what each school teaches in a way that I don't think is necessarily healthy. At the end of the day, the further you get away, like the further power or decision-making gets away from the people it affects, I think that's bad. So I think for people in Alabama, it's probably better for them to have people in Mobile or whatever the capital is to be making the decisions for Alabama students than it is for someone in Washington to be making the decisions for Alabama students. And you could do that for every single state.
And it's hard to disagree with that, but yet the left is not saying that. The left is making it sound like, I saw some videos where the guy, a guy that I actually had a podcast with before, he does a lot of interviews with students, and he's asking him about that, and they're like, it's incredible to believe that this is all going to be no. Like they're making it sound like it's going to disappear, that there's going to be no more funding for education, that the kids are in, like the kids in universities, like, does that mean I can still continue going to school, or do I need to go back? Okay, come on.
They think they're getting rid of public education, and that's not
like
at all what's going on.
The department is not the same thing as the education. It's just a department that is in charge of the education. You can remove that department, and there's still an education behind it.
And each state would probably have their own Department of Education, right? And so just fund those mini Department of Educations and let them spend their money.
That's what they do in Canada. That's what they do in Canada. That's just like our health system, right? So
that's right.
You want to take a few more comments and then we call it a day?
Yes, let's do that. Carney says, had to pause and call my husband to see the 70s video. Yeah, no, I mean, it is hilarious. Jason, there was a debut screening in Santa Monica talking about the Vax documentary. It was about the botched experiment of the vaccine, the Vax injured, and the cover-up. I'd be very interested in seeing that, to be honest. A remote masher. I got to figure out how to pronounce that. Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams is another movie like that. That was a good movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. Joe Thomas, my tinfoil hat conspiracy. As soon as technology develops to the point of self-diagnosis and repair, our owners will not think twice about eliminating about 95% of the species. You know, you're not wrong. It's, you know, especially if we start programming AI and robots with like a climate change mentality, because once they start being able to think intelligently, it's not going to be very hard for them to decide that if it's really important for them to focus on climate change, that the best thing to do is to kill as many humans as possible. That would seem, hopefully they don't hook those robots up to the weapon systems. But
you know, it's funny you say that, because Joe Rogan had a special years ago, and he was saying, he was comparing the human race as a virus if you looked at it from a planet scale.
Yeah.
No, but if you look at as the planet being the entity that's alive, he's like, we're like viruses. Everywhere we go, we basically destroy what's there, and we keep on duplicating ourselves, right? We create more of ourselves. And then I hear people say that, oh, we need to develop an AI that's going to manage the world. The first thing, if you had something that is not emotionally driven to decide what's the biggest problem with the earth, it's you and I, bro.
Well,
we're
like,
the earth, the day we disappear, the earth will be
much better.
Fine.
Well, if you think about it, like, we look at, let's say someone gets an infection with a virus and the virus spreads and they get sick. From our point of view, that's a bad thing. That virus needs to be destroyed because it's harming the big organism, ourselves. But if you were to zoom in and look at it from the perspective of the virus, that's some genocide, man. You know, like penicillin is fucking a weapon of mass destruction. So again, we are the virus in that scenario. To us, our growth seems perfectly normal and natural and healthy. But if we start programming non-emotional robots who don't have our human perspective to start looking into managing
danger.
Yeah, that's not smart. Danger. I hope they think this through. And Jason, we got two more. Jason, Trump is not messing with the State Department. The federal one needs to go. But this is still a dog and pony show if no one addresses the military-industrial complex. I agree. I mean, to me,
agree with you more, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that can really make change. At the same time, that's the thing that seems most likely to
not get addressed.
Yeah, because, you know, if you want to talk uniparty, if you want to talk common interests, like, you know, that is right there.
Pentagon,
right there. You know.
Oh yeah.
Prairie, I'd rather see the funding follow the student. Yeah, I mean, essentially. So I assume you're talking about like even to homeschool and whatnot. And that's actually, so that's an interesting debate. And I think there's actual real policy discussions to be had. You know, like what about if you allowed that, and then you had people who, yeah, of course you have to have some type of vetting, so it's not just any Yahoo, but you have mini schools pop up where one really committed teacher takes 10 students and maybe has them their whole career, and each student has $80,000 a year or $40,000 a year go with them. She can actually fund that education. It's something to think about.
I can tell you my kids are not going to, they're not going to hit the public system. They're going to be homeschooled. We've met just throughout our travel throughout the US. We've met so many families that are homeschooling their children from the north to the south to the west. And you know what I've discovered? They're all more polite. They're better raised. They're a lot more intelligent because one of the two parents is dedicated their days to teaching their kids on the way that they need to learn. And this is something you don't see in the education system, but there's two kids here, the best friends we have in Alabama. The father is a history teacher in high school. So he teaches history in public school. His two kids are homeschooled by his wife. That just tells you how much faith he has in the education system. But what's brilliant is that a lot of people think that because they're homeschooled, they're not going to be as socialized or they're not going to be as smart as people in school. Yet their kids don't have access to technology. The oldest is 15, just got a cell phone. You know the type of cell phone? A flip phone, not a smartphone, just a way, because now we can drive. You can, in here, you can be 15 and have your full license and be able to drive on your own. They wanted a way to reach him, but he has no smartphone. They have only one laptop that is in a shared area in the house. So it's always supervised. Everybody's like, oh yeah, but those kids are not going to be up to, no, you know what they do for fun, for shits and giggles? They build robots. So the bullshit that people think that you're homeschooled, you're not as smart, you're not as, you're not as what's the word, you're not as
socialized.
Yeah, socialized, thank you. And you're not as smart with technology. Wrong.
Yeah.
They build robots for shits and giggles, bro.
Well, I mean, like at the end of the day, you're not going to get anyone more invested in that kid's education than their own parents. And don't get me wrong, there are some genuinely good, even great teachers in the public school system. It's so hit or miss. And when it's your kid, do you want to take that chance?
But it's not necessarily the teacher that I'm going after. It's the ideologies that they're teaching.
Curriculum.
But let's assume that there's no wokeness, there's no bullshit, I agree with everything that's being taught. 30 kids to one teacher makes no sense. Like, no matter what, the system is broken from so many angles that it needs to change. Then that's why it's for the indoctrination process. I'm not putting my kids through that woke ideology crap that they're sending them. Plus, I'd rather have a smaller house, not as nice a cars, or have one car instead of two, but have a tutor that I agree with their views, teaching my kids what I cannot teach them. This to me is an investment. Having a big house, I don't care about that. Having super nice cars, I don't care about that. I'd rather put money in my kid's education, even if it means that I need to get him a tutor. That's fine by me.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting discussion, and there's a lot of kind of really interesting models you could go with. And I think maybe we should do a show one of these days if there's a
have an expert on. I've been looking for an expert on this, but they're hard to find.
They're
hard to find, and they don't necessarily want to come on my show because I'm too extreme in a lot of ways.
Maybe this one will be a little more likely. On that note, guys, I think that is it for us today. Thank you so much. It's funny, like the first 20 minutes of the show was not as many comments, and as soon as the energy completely changes once we get everyone jumping in. I mean, we're obviously still going to do our thing, but we can't thank you guys enough.
But hold on. You have to remember the first 20 minutes was yours. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yes, of course. You guys, you could have been anywhere in the world today, and you chose to be here with us. So we thank you for that. We appreciate that. Nico, you want to take us home?
Just thank you, man. Thank you for everybody that's there, men and women, because obviously we have men and women listening.
Yeah,
but I gotta tell you guys, I gotta tell you guys one thing that impresses me every single episode, and I was even talking about this with my wife this morning, is how intelligent you guys are.
Absolutely.
Like, we get such clever comments. They're not only that, but they're well written. Like, well written comments. They're we have such intelligent listeners. And I'm not sucking up to you, because if you guys were retards, believe me, I tell you. I'm just telling you right now that you guys are fucking amazing. Love being able to interact with you on this every single day. And make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share this stream, because X is giving me problems. It has not allowed me to share this stream all week. It does not share it. No, it shares that as a link that doesn't play.
But that's not the same. You want it to show up as
of course.
Yeah,
of course. But it's just on my account. It's just on my account. So maybe I pissed off. I'm good at pissing off platforms. So hopefully I didn't piss off X. But all the point, I've been a bug on my platform all week. But if you guys are capable of sharing because you like it, we would appreciate it. But even if you don't share, we will always want to have you on. So thank you for what you guys do. I hope you're enjoying the show, and you better have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
We'll see you guys Monday.